everyone, this is Tara from Homemade Happiness. My blog address is thecreativeprincess-homemadehappiness.blogspot.com. I will put that in the comments at the bottom so that people can check out my blog if they're interested. Today I want to show you how to make one of these paper flowers. I made this at my local scrapbooking store recently in a little demo, and I thought it turned out really good. And when I was going to make my card for my design team for Just Words, I decided I was going to put one on the front of it. So here's the card that I created. I think it turned out really well on the front of this card. It really pops. So I thought I'd show you how to make one today. So what you're going to need to make one of these is between 9 and 11 1-inch circles. Now, the one we made at the scrapbooking store used two-sided patterned paper, and it gave you this really neat effect. I looked through all of my paper and I only had a few pieces of two-sided patterned paper, if you can believe that, and none of them were very contrasting from side to side. They were really monochromatic. And I really liked this contrasting idea that this patterned paper had. So what I did was just took my patterned paper and I cut 11 circles out of 2 different colors, and then I just adhered the circles back to back, and it worked wonderfully. You can sort of see on the edges where I folded a little tiny bit of white, but I don't think that's a big deal, and it doesn't really bother me really. So if you want to save yourself a little money and not have to run out and buy double-sided paper if you don't have any on hand or there's none that you like on hand, then this is a really good option. So you're going to need your 11 circles, and they're going to look like this. This is the ones that I've already started, and these are my just adhered 2 pieces together again. You're going to need some quick drying glue. I'm going to use my Scotch Quick Dry. You will need either a button or a brad as your center, and if you decide to use a brad, then you're going to need either a paper piercer or a crocodile, or I have a big bite that I'll be using just to punch through the layers in the middle to put your brad in. So let's get started. First thing you want to do is take one of your circles, and I'm going to try to zoom in on this. I don't know if my fingers will get in the way, and I may just have to show you afterwards, but we'll try it. So let's zoom in. You're going to take one side of your circle and you're just going to fold it over a little bit. Now this is why it's going to depend how much you fold this over and how much you leave open, how many of the petals you're actually going to need to go around your flower. When I was first making them, I think I was folding them quite tightly, and it was causing me to have to use up to 11, whereas now that I've got the hang of it, I'm down to 9, which is what was recommended at the scrapbooking store. Okay, so you got this side. I'll just hold that up closer just in case so you can see. And then you're going to make almost like a waffle cone. So what you're going to do is take this side and fold it over and create yourself like a little waffle cone. And that's going to be one of your petals. So you're going to do that to 10 of your 11 circles and leave one circle as it is so that you can use that as your base. So I'm going to back out here. So I hope I'm not making anybody seasick. Okay, so when you get those done, then you're going to have a big pile that looks like this. And now this is the part I tend to want to skip, but it's actually really important because if you don't do this part, you're not going to know if you have enough, and it's going to get really frustrating when you're trying to glue them on. So you want to take your petals and just assemble them, creating a circle. And this is going to show you if you either have enough or if you need to do a couple more. So you want them to pretty much touch in the middle. So actually, I might not use that one. And when you see that you're almost touching in the middle and they're all going to fit in nicely, then that's going to be what you use. So I don't actually need that when I fold it. Then you're going to take just your plain circle that you have left over, and you're going to cover that in glue. Okay. Once you have that covered in glue, then you're going to take each one of these petals and you're going to start gluing them on. And because I'm using wet glue, I've got a little bit of wiggle room, which is going to be great because I am going to change these around, I'm sure, 100 times. Because I'm very particular, and then in the end, it's still not going to look exactly like I wanted to, but I'm just going to have to deal with that. Okay, so, filling this in. And then once you have, actually that went together really well. Once you have them all in there, and they look like you would like it to. Oops, did I go out of camera? I'm sorry. So I'm just wiggling them in to make sure that they're all lined up. I may have to overlap some. Some of them are going to have a little bit of a gap between them and the next one. That's fine. Once you get it on paper, you're never going to see that gap. You need a little more glue right here because this little one doesn't want to stay on. And then once everything looks good, I would just hold it for a second in the middle to make sure that glue is really, really setting in there. Okay. And once you have that done, then if you're putting a button on it, you can just adhere the button. If you've decided that you want to do a brad, now's the time to punch your hole. And then you just want to put your brad on through. And open it in the back. There's your flower. So you can do these with any different patterns. I've tried them with a couple different ones and it always turns out looking really neat. And I've got a bunch now that I'm going to put on some cards. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave me a comment or pop over to my blog. I would love to hear from you. Thank you. Bye now.